Hello, in this video I'm going to explain how to use vector triangles to do vector addition and subtraction. Actually, vector addition is exactly the same as scalar addition. If this is 3 and this is 2, how do we do 3 plus 2? This is obvious, right? We do exactly the same thing with vectors. If this is vector 1 and this is vector 2, what is vector 1 plus vector 2? So we line them up, and this is the answer. If this is 3 and this is 2, what is 3 minus 2? Again, that's pretty obvious. We do exactly the same thing with vectors. If this is vector 1 and this is vector 2, what is vector 1 minus vector 2? Again, we line them up, but we're going to flip v2 around since we're trying to subtract it away. And so this vector here is v1 minus v2. Let's put in some context. Let's say you are put by a 3 Newton force downward. At the same time, you are put by a 4 Newton force rightward. What is the total force experienced by you? Well, we're going to add up these two vectors. So we join them up. And this vector here represents the total force, or the resultant force. You can obtain the value of 5 Newton by applying Pythagoras theorem, since this happens to be a right-angled triangle. Now let's say you are traveling with a velocity v1 eastward, and later you change your velocity to be v2 southward. What is the change in your velocity? So we are going to do a vector subtraction of v2 minus v1. So we are going to line them up, but again we flip v1 around since we are trying to subtract it away. So this vector here represents the change in velocity. Notice that the change in your velocity has got this magnitude, and its direction is neither southward nor eastward or westward, but instead something that's roughly in the southwestern direction. Now again, say you are put by a 5 Newton force in this direction and another 5 Newton force in this direction. What do you think is the total force experienced by you? So we're going to add up these two vectors. So we line them up, and that's the answer. Because this turns out to be an equilateral triangle, we can see that the total force is yet again going to be a 5 Newton force, but it's going to be directed in a new direction here. Okay, so let's say you were traveling at a velocity vi initially in this direction, and this is your final velocity. So what's the change in your velocity? So the change in the velocity is vf minus vi. So we are going to line them up again. But remember, we got to flip vi around since we are trying to subtract away the initial velocity. So this vector here represents the change in your velocity. Hope that helps. Ta-ta!